Picture this. You just pulled off a bank heist. Congrats, you're holding $2 million in cash, but there's just one small catch. You can't spend it. Not on a house, not on a ride, not even on a fancy steak dinner, because the moment you try to buy anything of substance, someone's going to ask, hey, where'd you get all this cash? And I found it isn't going to fly. This is the criminal's oldest headache, and the workaround they cooked up is so clever, so brazen, and so widespread, it's almost impressive. They call it money laundering, and today we're going to break down exactly how it works. First, what actually is dirty money? Before we talk about scrubbing cash, let's talk about why it's dirty in the first place. Dirty money is just cash that originated from illegal acts. Drug deals, fraud, corruption, bribery, tax dodging, whatever the case, the government didn't get their slice, and you definitely don't want them tracing it back to you. The issue is that money leaves a trail. Every time cash moves through a bank, an investment, or a purchase, it leaves a footprint, and investigators are pros at following them. So the goal of money laundering is simple. Take money that screams, I'm the result of a crime, and turn it into money that whispers, I'm totally legit, nothing to see here. That's it. That's the whole ball game. Money laundering follows three classic stages. Stage one, placement. This is the most dangerous part. You have a massive pile of physical cash and you need to get it into the banking system without raising any alarms. Think about it. If you walk into a branch with a duffel bag stuffed with $800,000 in small bills, the teller is going to have some questions. Most likely the FBI is going to have some questions shortly after. So criminals get creative. Their go-to method is smurfing. No, not the little blue cartoon guys. Smurfing is when you break your massive pile of cash into dozens of smaller deposits, each one carefully kept just under the limit that triggers an automatic bank alert. In the US, that threshold is $10,000. So you make deposits of $9,800, $9,500, $9,750 spread across different banks, various accounts, and over several days. Sometimes they actually hire people, known as Smurfs, to physically go from bank to bank, making these deposits. It's tedious, it's slow, and frankly, it's a pretty boring gig for a life of crime. Another method is cash-heavy businesses. You buy or launch something like a restaurant, a car wash, or a bar that handles plenty of cash daily. It's hard to verify if their sales are accurate. You mix your dirty cash with legitimate earnings, pump up the numbers by claiming 400 fake customers, and deposit it all as standard business income. Stage two, layering. Okay, the money is in the system. Now, you have to ensure nobody can track it back to you. This is where things get elegant or ridiculous, depending on how you look at it. The goal of layering is to shuffle money around so many times, through so many accounts across so many borders, that investigators eventually hit a dead end. You're constructing a paper trail that leads nowhere by design. You wire money from Bank A in country 1 to a shell company in country 2, which loans it to another shell company in country 3, which invests it in country 4, which sends dividends back to a personal account in country 1. After 5 or 6 loops like this, even top-tier financial investigators lose the trail. And that's the whole point. Shell companies are perfect for this. A shell company is a firm that exists legally on paper, but doesn't actually do anything. No employees, no products, no office, just a name, an address, and a bank account. In places like the British Virgin Islands, the Cayman Islands, or Delaware, yes, Delaware, right here in the good old USA, you can set up a shell company for a few $100, and the actual owner's name never has to appear on any public record. So if investigators try to find out who owns the cash, they run into a company which is owned by another company, which is owned by a trust, which is managed by a lawyer bound by attorney-client privilege in a country with airtight bank secrecy laws. Congratulations, you've hit a brick wall. Stage 3, integration. This is the finish line. The money has been placed into the system and layered until it's unrecognizable. Now, it comes back to you, clean, legal, and ready to drop on a yacht, a penthouse, or just a very comfortable retirement. Here are a few favorite tricks criminals use. First, there's real estate. You buy a high-end condo in Miami or London through a shell company, hold on to it for a year, then sell it. Boom, your stash is now profit from a property transaction. Cities are packed with empty luxury flats owned by these mystery companies. Terrible for renters, great for crooks. Another is art. A painting sells for $50 million. Nobody is checking if it's actually worth that much. Nobody is asking for proof of where the funds came from. The art market is notoriously opaque, which is why it's notoriously used for this. You invest in art, sell it later, and you've got clean income. Plus, you get to hang something nice on your wall while you wait. The United Nations estimates that between $800 billion and $2 trillion is laundered globally every single year. That's 2% of global GDP. Of all the money laundered annually, investigators successfully seize about 1%. 1%. Criminals are pulling off a 99% success rate. If any other business had a 99% success rate, we'd call it a miracle. In the world of crime, they just call it Tuesday. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.